Hi, I'm attorney Gregory Dell, joined today by attorney Rachel Alters. And today's disability benefit tip is Hartford long-term disability denial and what to expect as the first steps that you should take if your long-term disability claim has been denied. So Rachel, Hartford is one of the top 3 largest long-term disability companies. You've spoken to thousands of people with Hartford denials, but what's the first thing that you really need in order to build this roadmap of getting a claimant's benefits reinstated with Hartford?
When I speak to a claimant that's been denied with a Hartford claim, the first thing I ask for is the denial letter, because that's really the most important thing we need in the beginning of the conversation and to evaluate the claim initially.
And what's this typical Hartford denial letter look like, and what are you expecting to see in it?
It's usually a couple pages long, depending on how complicated the claim is, and I'm expecting to see what Hartford has reviewed in, with regard to the claim and why they denied the claim, what they based their denial on, and what type of information they're looking for in order to get the claim reinstated. So, the beginning of the denial letter will discuss what they reviewed, all the medical records that they received from the physicians that were treating the claimant, and then it will discuss the peer review doctors. Those are doctors that Hartford has hired to review the records and give an opinion as to whether they believe that the claimant is disabled, whether or not the treating physicians have said that they are. And then obviously the peer review doctors have disagreed with the treating physicians, so it'll give the basis of their argument. And then at the end of the letter we'll say all the things that they believe, such as you need more medical records, more x-rays, MRIs, you need more objective proof, you need to treat with more physicians, and then those are the things that they usually say at the end of the claim, at the end of the denial letter, as to what is needed to get the claim overturned. And then they give you 180 days to appeal the denial.
The other thing that they also say in this denial letter is that you can request a claim file and,
right,
and they'll provide it to you. What is that claim file, and why is it absolutely essential to have it in order to do an appropriate appeal?
The claim file is extremely important in order to prepare an appeal on the claim, because what's contained in the claim file is everything that Hartford has gathered over the course of the claim to review in support of this claim. So this is going to contain all the medical records they reviewed, so we can take a look at, hey, were they missing medical records? Do we need to go to additional physicians to add additional medical records? There will be all the peer review reports. Sometimes they send the claimant to an IME, so that IME report will be contained in the medical records. The policy that the claimant is the policy and the policy language that
right,
supports the claim, that will be in the claim file. And a lot of we call them SOAP notes, but they're notes that the claim adjusters put in their file as to what they're relying on, the conversations they've had with all the doctors, the conversations they've had with the claimants. That's all contained in the records too. So that's all an integral part of us being able to review the claim, see what needs to be done in the appeal process to try and win the claim and get the claim overturned, and down the road try and win in court.
Right, and I think what's unique here is that while you're reading all of that, there's obviously no mentions of case law, standards of review, what happens if you lose, how's the court going to look at it, what actions does the court have to take, and that's what individuals unfortunately have a significant disadvantage when they try to handle these things on their own, because while you're immediately reading a denial letter, if someone could see inside your brain, you're right away saying, no, this court doesn't allow this, no, you didn't do that, yes, you should have done this, and claimants don't know what they should say or not say. And the challenge is that while you certainly want to win the appeal, and we win a lot of these, that if you don't win, you have to be careful what you say so that you still don't necessarily give Hartford a roadmap as to everything that they should do on appeal, because if they do everything you tell them to do, then it's going to be very hard to win in a lawsuit because of the arbitrary and capricious standard of review. And we have lots of videos talking about the standard of reviews at trial and how to handle a Hartford lawsuit. But the important tips here are, if you've been denied, we must see you must get the denial letter and the claim file before you even begin this process. So what we always recommend for claimants to do is call you, call myself, any of our lawyers, no matter where you live in the country. We'll provide you with an immediate free consultation, which includes a review of your denial letter, and then from there discussing what we think are the chances of you getting your benefits reversed, some strategies moving forward, what the timeframes would be, what it's going to cost to work with our law firm, and really giving you a realistic approach. That's one thing we're very known for, is we're going to tell you right up front yes, we think we can win, no, we don't think we're going to win, or you have this percentage of chance. And then from there, you can choose to decide, do you want to represent yourself? Do you want to have help? But we really want you to be in the best position possible to move forward and have the best chances to get your Hartford long-term disability benefits reinstated or approved if you've never been approved. So we look forward to the opportunity to help you, and we're just a phone call away.